Hello everyone, Seraphin here, welcome back for more Fire Emblem Blazing Sword. When we last left off, I believe we were finishing up Chapter 17, the pirate ship, and we'll be moving on to Chapter 18, the Dread Isle. And the Dread Isle is another name for the isle that we've been sailing to on said pirate ship, where the Dragon's Gate is located. And we are pursuing whoever is occupying said Dragon's Gate with Ninian in tow that we recently rescued from overboard, I guess. I'm not sure how she got out there, but much of this island is covered in dense forest, and no one who's ever come back, no one's ever gone here has ever come back. So that's cool. Yes, it's also very densely foggy, so that'll be fun to deal with. You guys remember fog from several chapters back in chapter 9, was it? Yeah. We get to deal with that here too. It's not the last Fog of War map, but thankfully there's not too many of those. So here it is, the Dragon's Gate. And who in the heck is this fellow? Well, the guy on the right is Marquis Foray, that's Ellawood's dad, the guy that we're looking for, so we can confirm that he's alive. He freed the boy and the girl. Presumably he's talking about Ninian and Nils. And there's that jerkwad again. Oh yes, so the gentleman in the turban there is Lord Nurgle, the guy that we've been hearing so much about. This evil mastermind from behind the scenes. That is him. Ceremony, you say? A lot of exposition right here already, so we're learning now that Nurgle plans to bring dragons back into the planet, not the planet, the plane, I guess, through the Dragon's Gate. And apparently he is quite powerful, so much so that this moron thinks that he can control the dragons. Yes, and now we learn that that whole rebellion concept was his idea from the get-go. Not sure why Force is all capital there. Black-hearted fiend. You see that one quite a bit. That particular line thrown at his direction. Ephidel and Limstella. You remember Ephidel? Of course, this is the first time you're seeing him without his hood on. And Nurgle calls them his glorious works of art and his pets. The reason for that being, Ephidel and Limstella here are artificially created humans. You will commonly see them referred to as morphs. The mice. So yes, Ephidel and Limstella are artificially created by Nurgle himself. They will explain how he was able to accomplish that later on. If you're familiar with anime at all, you may have perhaps seen Full Metal Alchemist. It's one of the more mainstream animes, but also one of my favorites. There are artificially created humans in that show as well, much along the same vein, in that they are created with basically no soul. They're alive, but not really at the same time. They're not like undead or anything, but we'll be seeing much, much more of them in the chapters to come. Still don't quite know what this ceremony is exactly, but some of you may have already figured it out. And there's Layla again. No idea how she got all the way over here by herself with no pirate ship. Ah, but she has been spotted. And Ephidel finds out that she was listening to the whole thing, and that's not good news for her. Jafar. There he is. So, Jafar is a rather intimidating gentleman. He is an assassin for the Black Fang, also known as the Angel of Death. And you'll see why in a moment. Yep. Yeah, that's some Game of Thrones level stuff right there. You're trying to curse us. Who's there? A sentry? Well, no, not quite so much. Sorry, I'm not talking over this part. This is kind of heart-wrenching a little bit. If only it was that easy. Yep, not enough warning just to stop anything bad from happening, but... Yes, he is Sakayan, as she noticed immediately. Uhai of the Black Fang. He thinks very highly of himself. You know nothing of Nurgle's terrible power. Well, that's true. We haven't seen it yet. Well, he's got that right, at least. Fortunately, we have a Sakayan plainswoman with us, otherwise this might have gone very differently. Oh, how nice of you. Yes, be of good cheer, you're all about to die. And there he goes. So I kind of pre-prepared this particular chapter, only because it's a bit of a long one. This is definitely going to be broken into two different parts, but we're taking out Osmond for the time being, because this is a large map, and we need to traverse it quickly, and he will unfortunately only slow us down for the time being. And also because I don't plan on using him in the long run. Canis, I also don't really plan on using this playthrough. He's just not quite as fast as I'd like him to be. He's not a bad unit by any means. I could put some effort into him if I desired to, but at this point I have enough magic people. Between Lucius, Urk, and Priscilla, and even Sarah's still here. Just because having two healers is nice. But we're going to let him go for now. We're going to pick up the rest of the crew here, though. Most of my speedy sword people. And definitely need Matthew for this. We have a fog of war situation, and having a thief will be utterly invaluable. So I'll take a look at the map real quick. We've got, like I said, this is quite a large map. This is probably one of the larger ones we've seen so far. There's a couple different ways to go. So the objective of this map is to defeat Uhai, the boss. And he's hiding somewhere about down here, I believe. Maybe even right here. And also, if we defeat this chapter quickly enough, we will unlock another Gaiden chapter, another side quest. So the goal is to complete the chapter in 15 turns or less. And in order to do that, I'll want to progress through the map as quickly as possible. And that's going to be somewhat difficult given the proliferation of all these forests here. So my goal will be to split my group into two different teams, one to go up through this way and down through here, and the other, the main forest, to go down through all the trees. There's this little central island here too, but there's nothing much going on there. That being said, if you're playing through this for the first time, you will definitely want to bring Florina, even if you're not using her, and you'll see why shortly. You absolutely should bring Matthew, just for the Fog of War alone, and you might want to have a couple of healers, because there's a lot of very powerful units, and you might get worn down pretty quickly. Also, I have Matthew appear to expose this particular thief because he is carrying a torch staff. This functions exactly like the torch item that we have that will light up the area. However, I can cast it from a distance and target it on a square far away. And the range of that is the user's magic divided by 2. So if someone had 10 magic, they can use it from 5 squares away. I definitely want that. They'll be very valuable. So I'll probably have Florina pick off that thief. He's a little too fast for me to double with her, so I'll need a couple of units to do it. More than likely I'll send Kent over there as well. And then I'll need someone to deal with this pirate, but I'm sure Link can handle that on her own. Yeah, that should be fine. So, the main force going down this way is going to consist of my main beatstick guys, so Hector and Raven probably. Sarah can go with this particular group here. And I'm about to get another unit, actually, that you don't see in the map just yet. I'm going to get Dart, that we met a couple chapters ago in the port. And he comes with a steel axe and a hand axe, but he's a little too... not quite as bulky enough to use the steel axe effectively, so we're going to make sure we pack him an extra axe for him to have. So let me grab this iron one. In fact, I'm going to hold off on leveling up Hector quite so much, so he can have the 10 one. And I'll give the 38 to Dart when he shows up. And Dart, as I mentioned some number of chapters ago, is one of those axe-wielding units that is much better than either Dorcas or Bartra. So we are going to be using him. In fact, there he is right now. Suicide Squad, you say? Evidently you're still here, so how can you be that good of a Suicide Squad member, I guess? At any rate, Dart is fantastic. We'll be using him for the remainder of the game. And Matthew's already back. This man has far more willpower than I think I could ever have in his position. Good for him. At any rate, let's get into it. So here's Dart. Dart is a pirate. Pirates are slightly different than fighters. They both use axes still. However, pirates are generally much faster. You'll see Dart is level 8. His bases aren't spectacular for a level 8 character. However, he does have more speed than either Dorcas or Bartra, so his strength is also pretty good at 12. Very impressive. He comes with a steel axe and a hand axe, and this free torch, which is nice. And B rank in axes, which is very, very good. So he won't require a whole lot of effort to make completely viable. His con's a little low for an axe user. Everything aside from a basic iron axe will slow him down. But once his speed starts going up and leveling a bit more, that will not be an issue for him at all. He also has quite a few hit points at 34. I believe that's some of the highest in my army, if not the highest. Yeah, it looks to be that way. So, at any rate, let's get going here. We're going to deal with this thief that has that torch staff that I want first. So we'll have Lynn take out this pirate in my way. And she'll get a level out of the deal, too. Skill and speed. That's pretty par for the course for her. Kent can't quite get in melee range, however. He is close enough to throw a javelin at this guy. And darn near kill him in one hit. And that will put Florina in a position to finish him off quickly. And she has no chance of missing, so that's good. Alright, we got that torch staff. That's exactly what I wanted. So, we are actually going to send Dart into the fray. There's a fair number of enemies in this little island here. But we're going to bring Matthew with us and tear some of them down. Actually, I'm going to send Dart in first, because I need to give him that hand axe. And he's going to knock this tree over in one swing, because he's just that good. And I will give him this iron axe to hold on to. Yep, there's all those guys right there. So, we see an enemy shaman here, and he's equipped with a Nosferatu tome. This is that particular tome that allows him to drain HP, equal to how much damage he does, which is dangerous. So he will drop it, however, we're not using Canis, and he's the only dark magic user, so we're probably just going to sell that. We've got another pirate here. We have a nomad with a longbow. Longbows are really neat. So they're not that strong, they do weigh a bit, however, you'll see the range is 2 to 3. So these things can really reach out and touch someone. A little more than a standard bow, and these are largely invaluable. So we're definitely going to want to make sure we pick that up. And then we have just a generic cavalier. This is a light rune, so these things are weird. There's only like maybe 3 or 4 of them accessible in the game, and they don't do a whole heck of a lot. However, they're very nice for guarding choke points. So this is similar to the mine that we got some number of chapters ago, in that you use it and place it on the ground somewhere next to you, but rather than somebody being obstructed and take damage when they walk into it, this literally just acts as a barrier that you drop on the ground. So if you set this next to you, you'll be able to see it, and nothing can pass through it. Not even your own guys, and not even flying units can go over it. It literally acts as an impassable barrier. And there's, like I said, there's only a couple of them. I don't generally make a whole lot of use of these, but I think I'm going to try to steal this from him if I have the opportunity to. And more than likely that will end up being the case, depending on how... I got Matthew right here, so he's just going to steal it. We're going to get down here and deal with this archer. Probably don't want to use my really squishy monk to deal with him. So instead I'll use my archer. She needs the steel bow to kill him. I just hope she doesn't miss. That would be very unfortunate. Especially because I believe there is a number of cavaliers and other such melee units hiding in the fog just beyond those forts, so if I leave her up front like that, she might be in trouble. Given that... Can Ellawood rescue her? He can. We're going to have Ellawood rescue her, and then have Raven drop her off. So she gets out of the way. And then we'll put Hector in this fort. He can kind of tank things as they come to him. I believe there's cavaliers hiding like right here, so we want to make sure we're out of the way. We'll put Urk right behind him. And Lucius will be behind that. Sarah I'm going to send up here as my healer for this little splinter group. And then Priscilla will take care of the main group. Oh, and I forgot to turn on animations for Dart. Well, I can take care of that just a second. Yep, there's those cavaliers I was talking about. Thankfully, they are not much of a threat to Hector. And here's another one. Oh, that's a nomad, even. Lots of those guys on this map, largely because Uhai himself is a nomad. He's a promoted nomad, even. Known as a nomadic trooper. And there are not very many of those that you see in this game. But Uhai is most certainly the most scary of those guys. Alright, we're going to want to deal with this Cavalier. Oh, that's right, he has that light rune. Can I steal that from him real quick? If I bring Dart here, he can't quite handle that Nomad in one hit. But I might be able to handle it after the fact. Oh yeah, we need to turn his animations on. Let's do that real quick. Dart. Yep, that looks good. And I think the pirate animation is much cooler than the fighter one. They wield twin axes. Sadly, they don't get to hit twice, unless you're fast enough to do that. But we're gonna swipe that light rune from this Cavalier. Very nice. And then Rebecca ought to be able to, well, no, I think I'll let Lucius do it. Pick off this Cavalier from distance with some light magic. Now that we have what we needed from him. Love that battle theme. And now we are in a position to allow Raven to come down here and take a swipe at this Nomad. Is the triple flip necessary? No, but it looks really cool, and I'm not complaining. And we get that longbow. You don't need it right now, but I would like to give that to Rebecca if I can at all help it. You know, I think Raven's strong enough to not need this iron blade, so we'll send it back for right now. And I can't quite get Rebecca next to Raven to get that longbow from him. Ellawood, even with the rapier, cannot one-round this Nomad, but I bet you... Maybe he'll crit. It happens. No, not quite so much. But he is certainly weak enough that Rebecca can handle him. So we'll do that. Moving forward down through that forested area is going to be a bit of a slog. Oh, look, a free torch. How nice. Anybody else have anything worth stealing right now? Oh, this Cavalier has another mine to steal. Well, I was actually unaware of that. There's a lot of good stuff on this map. I'm liking this. I would send Florina down here to deal with this shaman, given that her high resistance will allow her to deal with him pretty safely. But we have this pirate here, and I'm concerned of him smacking her in the face. So I think instead what we will do is let him come to us. I'll get a javelin ready. And we'll have Lynn right here. I'm going to want to have somebody to guard the coast over here, because pirates will spawn in the water up here, and they'll also spawn up in here. And I want to make sure Merlinus is protected, so I'm going to send Kent back here, I believe. Given that he's already plenty high level. In fact, he is due for promotion in not too much longer, I believe. He's turning out quite well, and I'm very happy about that. We're going to top off Rebecca with Priscilla real quick. And I need to try to keep Priscilla and Urk together as much as possible. I want them to support one another. The sound of footsteps on a wooden bridge. That is a nice little touch, is depending on the terrain type that your units are standing on, there's different sound effects for the footfalls that they make when they're moving during their animations. And I like that quite a bit. Now, I don't want to necessarily aggro this Cavalier just yet. I want him to come up here so that Matthew can steal that mine from him. So I'm going to keep him out of range, but I'm going to have a hand axe to whip at this Nomad here real quick. And then I bet you Urk can... Oh, well, never mind. He'll just crit and take care of the guy in one hit. It's a good use of the hand axe for that. And this pirate's going to go after Dart. And Dart will hit him back much harder than he hit me. Dart can take a beating, which is good, because he tends to do that quite a bit. Take a bit of a beating. Oh, here we have an enemy Cavalier. That Florina can't quite... Oh, she's not even fast enough to double him. That javelin really weighs her down. And here we have the the man of the hour here, the guy I wanted to target in the first place. And he's going to miss, and she will probably double because that Nosferatu tome weighs a ton. And shamans are not particularly fast to begin with. So, and we get the Nosferatu tome. Just going to send that to the convoy. We don't need that. Good thing I sent Florina to the north because you've got all sorts of bow-wielding guys down here. Here we are. Who is this? It's another Pegasus Knight. A true Knight of Ilia. And you're wondering, who in the heck is this chick? This is Fiora. Fiora is Florina's older sister, and one of 3 different potential Pegasus Knights you can recruit during the game. However, like I said, there is a 3rd sister, but we will not be meeting her during this playthrough because she is only accessible in Hector's quest. So this is the only other Pegasus Knight we will have access to. Fiora is quite good. I like her a lot. I tend to prefer her over Florina, but both are perfectly viable. Fiora will tend to be a little on the weaker side in terms of strength, but her resistance, luck, and speed are phenomenal, and her defense is usually a bit better too. She also has 1 more point of constitution than Florina, so she can wield things that are heavy without quite so much speed loss. They're largely interchangeable, however, and you can even use both if you want to. Pegasus Knights are fantastic units. That being said, she's a green unit right now, meaning I don't control her. I need to get Florina down to her to talk to her to recruit her, so we're going to do that as quick as we can here, while I have Lynn deal with this Cavalier. And that Monica T actually is going to shred Uhai if I can get near him with it, so we're definitely going to want to keep her toward the front lines here. Who do we want to have deal? I'm going to have Dart get as much XP as he can because he's certainly going to need it. He takes a little while to get rolling, but once he does, he is an absolute monster. And we're going to want Matthew to get out here and steal this mine that this Cavalier has. Does this guy have anything fun? No, he does not. And I want to make sure that Fiora is protected. I don't want her getting taken out by that Nomad, so I am probably going to rescue her with Hector. I can't rescue her with Hector for some strange reason. Oh, now I can. Why in the heck did it let me do it from here? Oh, now it does. That's weird. I guess my button just wasn't working quite so well. Anyway, we're going to rescue Fiora. I don't want her getting killed on accident. We're going to send Matthew into the trees here. Although I do need to get him down. Now, lad, we're going to have him go the other way. I need to get Raven out of here is what I need to do. So he's going to go down here. And then we're going to have Lucius handle this Nomad. If he gets hit, he's going to be in a bad way, though. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know if Priscilla is close enough to take care of him or not. Let's find out. Alright, HP and magic. He certainly needs the HP, and he's going to level magic regardless. Weapon level up is always good. I think he's at level B. Yep. Oh, Priscilla's definitely close enough. So we're going to have Matthew come this way. I'm going to move Elwood up into the forest. Matthew will come over here. And we'll top off Lucius to make sure he doesn't get picked off by a wayward Nomad. We're kind of dividing into 3 groups almost at this point, and I realize that, but it's going to have to stay that way. We're going to leave Kent right here. Alright, one more enemy phase. Oh, there's some pirates coming in. Just like I expected. 17% chance to hit? Come on, that's ridiculous. No matter. We can take care of that. Hopefully Elwood doesn't kill this guy. Well, it was just a mine anyway. We didn't necessarily really need it. That guy definitely would have messed up Fiora, though, if I'd allowed him to. So, that being said, we got quite a bit of ways to go yet, but we're making progress. So I'm going to continue the rest of that progress in the next episode. So for right now, thank you all very much for joining me. I appreciate it. We will pick up next time with the remainder of Chapter 18, and then we'll proceed further than that. So again, thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next episode. This has been Seraphin. Good evening.